Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gamers of all ages, welcome back to Studio C. How y'all doing? Hope everyone is doing well. Wanted to do just a bit of a channel update. I kind of touched on a few things, sort of warship-centric, on my last Scuttlebutt video last week. By the time you're seeing this, it should be Monday or Tuesday of the week after I'm recording it. And there's more to that conversation. So we're gonna touch on that again real briefly, talk about a few other things, and explain where I'm going forward. Right? When we last kind of chatted in February, I kind of made one of these. The discussion was, all right, so I'm going to be probably scaling back my boats content. Not quite sure what that's going to look like yet, but there's going to be less of it. I want to do these other things going forward. The list of I want to do other things going forward still remains. But I feel like now I've got a really good bead on what scaling back my boats content is going to look like. In other words, what I want to continue to produce on YouTube and what I'm going to probably just never do again. And so I wanted to go through that with you guys, get some feedback, get some thoughts, and go from there. So if you've watched the Scuttlebutt video, and I'll throw a link somewhere here, or maybe down in the comments or something, so you can go have a peek if you want to. The focus of the YouTube channel for so long has been very, very warship-centric. There's a few other smattering of content on the channel that has nothing to do with boats, right? I've got a few painting videos, I've got a couple of Hell Let Loose videos, but the 99.5% of what's on the channel is World of Warships. And it's been that way for years, right? I've been a community contributor for a little over 5 years now. And that's going to be, I'm going to stay a CC, but I'm going to be producing less warships content than you've historically seen going forward. What's that going to look like? Well, for starters, and I haven't made one of these in a while, so it's probably not a big shock, but I'm probably not going to bother with any more first look videos. Once upon a time, the first look videos used to be some of my best performers in terms of I'd post one out and I could get 7, 8, 10,000 views out of a first look video, particularly for a high tier ship, a tier 8, tier 9, tier 10 premium, or like the tier 10 on a new tech tree. But the problem is that for me at least, is multifaceted. Wargaming has altered how they award us those ships now or kind of early access. We're still allowed to make content on them, but we usually don't get the whole line at once. So I'll get the 6, the 8, and the 9, and then later on I'll get the 5, the 7, and the 10, and they come at different times. And I like to do things where I make a video series. Okay, we're going to start with the 5 or the 6 or whatever, and go on through and talk about them relative to the ship you just played and so on. And it's become increasingly difficult to do that other than for one-off premium ships. The other thing is that the pace of it is a little silly. It feels like every patch has got 8 to 10 new ships in it. And it's a lot of work for a game that frankly doesn't hold my interest for that level of involvement anymore. So first look videos, probably going away. The main focus for me, warships content going forward, is going to be learn to play videos. I have gotten such tremendously good positive feedback on the German cruiser and American destroyer learn to play videos. I'm going to continue those series. I like those for a lot of reasons. One is I think they're beneficial to new players. I think they offer opportunities for old players to come in and critique my own suggestions, and that's good. That's a good conversation to have because I don't have the definitive view on any one aspect of the game. So if I make a video that recommends something and somebody who's been playing the game 3 years watches and goes, that's the biggest pile of crap I've ever seen, I want them to come into the comments and say, here's another alternative, here's something else maybe you missed or didn't think about. And that just makes everybody who watches the video and reads the comments, and everybody gets a little better, right? Everybody improves. So I think the learn to play videos going forward are going to be a staple. Quick cuts are not going away. You've seen that I've reduced those, right? And that's just a direct factor of the fact that as I stream warships, there's going to be less available material for quick cuts. So 2 to 3 a week as filler, maybe on the weekends, maybe on a Monday or Friday or something if I get lazy, or if I just don't have anything else going on, you'll probably see those floating around. The last thing I'm going to commit to continue doing is the quarterly reviews. To me, those are, they don't get a lot of views, but to me, I feel like that's a really important function. We need to be doing that. We need to be taking back, I think a quarterly is the right way to do it. Take a step back. Let's pull back away from our server. Let's look at the overall health of the game from, as we like to say in my world, the 10,000 foot level. right? Don't get down in the weeds, get way up here and then look, okay, how's this server doing compared to this server, compared to this server, compared to this server in terms of, logins and activity and those kinds of things. There hasn't been one of those for second quarter of this year. I did the first quarter one. Yeah, I did. The second quarter one, I haven't been able to make yet. That's not true. It hasn't been a first quarter one yet. The first quarter one hasn't happened because the NA, this is where it gets weird. The website I use that aggregates the stats for all the servers in the game has been consistent, except there's a 3-month gap on the NA server starting in March. It does not have server login, that daily population curve, for the North American server for March, April, and May. It started up again on like the 31st of May or the 1st of June. I don't know what happened. Like their API broke, the link broke, something happened, and that data is not available. I've been trying to get that data from Wargaming. Bogsy and Ensconce had also offered to help me get other data that would help make that video more interesting and more pertinent. So the first quarter video is very delayed, but there are a lot of valid reasons for it, and I'm still trying to work with them to figure out what I can and can't get. In another couple of weeks, if it looks like it's not going to go anywhere, we're literally right now at the end of the second quarter, I'm probably going to go ahead and just punt and say like, okay, look, here's the data I have. Let's talk, right? And then continue maybe working with them to see if I can get something for second quarter. But the NA data for the first and second quarter of this year is going to be very, very bad. Just not because there's anything wrong, but because we have a 3-month gap where there is no data available. So that's particularly frustrating. But quarterly review videos are not going away. I want to keep doing that. I've been saying this for a while. We're going to be doing other things. I said on the Scuttlebutt video last week that I had sat down and made a list of all the videos that I wanted to make and bring to YouTube. That is true. I'm not going to share that with you because it's more of my brain dump, brainstormy list. As I think of something, I'm dumping it on there. But you're going to see painting videos as I'm going to get back into miniature painting on stream. That's going to be, some of those are going to get trimmed down and come to YouTube. You're definitely going to see Hell Let Loose content. I've started getting the footage I need. I've done a lot of audio work. I've got a huge list of Hell Let Loose videos I want to do. There are some people out there, guys like Mono Especial and Fresh Baked Goods and some of these guys that do really, really, really fabulous YouTube content. But I want to get kind of even more granular, right? Like Mono has a great video like, oh, you're brand new to the game. Here's what you need to know in 15 minutes, right? And that's awesome. For a new player, you need that. But what if you've hit your first 200, 300, 400 hours in the game and you want to understand more? To me, that's what's needed. And that's what's lacking in the in-game manuals right now. When you open up the field manual inside of Hell Let Loose, it's very thin. And I want to be able to explain and teach more of what's going on to the average player. So we're going to be looking at, I'm going to be doing a whole series on vehicles. Like every vehicle in the game, every vehicle type in the game is going to get its own kind of video. I'm going to do one on spawn points that covers all of it. I'm going to do one on half tracks. We're going to do one on each of the 4 tank classes. We're going to do one on just non-combat vehicles, so Jeeps, trucks, supply trucks, all that stuff. And then we're going to take a look at all the different classes. So I have a huge list of things that I want to do for Hell Let Loose, and the community over there is fabulous. I've been hanging out with some really good streamers, and I'm hoping I'm hoping to make a good impact in helping people learn more about the game with a little less pain, right? Now that I'm about the 1,000-hour mark myself. I've been playing Civilization 6 on the channel, over on Twitch, pretty regularly. Of course, Firaxis has announced Civilization 7. The Civ 6 video world is already pretty full, right? There's some really, really good guys on YouTube doing all kinds of great work. I don't feel like there's a lot that I could add to that right now. However, Civ 7 is coming. It's been announced. We know it's coming eventually. When it does, I will probably start doing some video work and doing some Civilization videos because I have a tremendous passion for Civilization. I've been playing that franchise for nearly 30 years. They are fabulous games. They're a great teaching tool. So much learning, so much fun. I want to do some Civilization videos, so that'll definitely be coming. But I'm waiting. At this point, I feel like Civ 6 is pretty well covered. I'm kind of waiting for the next title, and then I'm going to maybe stick my toe in and see where it goes. The last thing that I really kind of want to touch on, well, I guess before I get to that, I should also talk about the studio, right? I keep saying we're going to be seeing board game content. It is It is. I keep saying it's imminent, and it is. I keep finding little things that I want to improve and tweak, and before I sit down in here and actually spend time in OBS. There's very few hardware issues I have left to overcome. I had a little minor hiccup last week with one of the cameras that I haven't quite solved yet, but that's neither here nor there. It can be worked around. I did make a change to the audio setup the other day, and hopefully you're hearing better quality, or at a minimum better volume. It's simpler. It's going to be simpler for me to mix 4 different mics around this table with the change that I made last week. That is all coming. I need to sit down and work out some scheduling and get some people lined up to come in here on during July and August, and probably start doing some regular 2-player stuff. Just get on stream and do it. And if it looks like crap, well then great. That's a learning experience, right? There's going to be a learning curve and some growing pains as I work through that. But that's not gone. That is still honestly where I want to go with all of this. The last thing that's been rolling around in my brain that I haven't settled yet is, do I want to keep dealing with Twitch or not? Right? I mean, it's a very existential dilemma in a kind of a way, right? I've been streaming on Twitch for coming up on 6 years. 6 years this fall. I've got a great community over there. Tons of regulars, awesome people, but right, over the long haul, are they the right solution, the right answer for the kind of stuff that I want to make and how I want to distribute it and how I want to be found and discovered and for people to consume what I'm doing? I don't have the answer to that yet. I've been wrestling with this question for a while. Basically since the day I signed my partner contract, which was over 2 years ago now. The partner process on Twitch is garbage, right? It's borderline exploitative the way they have it managed. And my last partner application was essentially telling them, okay, look, I'm going to throw, but I've met all of the little arbitrary goalposts you put in front of me, and you keep moving the goalposts. Here's why that's garbage. Here's what I've done, and basically, I told them, if you don't want to accept me to the partner program now, that's fine. Go pound sand. I don't care anymore. And they did. And I was like, okay, well, great. The trick is that being a partner is a fun thing, but it doesn't actually change anything, right? You don't get more money. You don't. About the only thing it physically changes is we apparently are supposed to get priority when in the transcoding system. But all the years I spent as an affiliate, I never had problems with that. So I don't think there's any real physical tangible benefit to being a partner. In fact, there's a lot of detriments to it, right? The way the rules and restrictions are written. In fact, they're now trying to expand that to all of Twitch, try to restrict where you can and can't stream, multi-streaming, all that sort of thing. Long term, I haven't decided what I'm going to do. I just want you guys to know that I'm thinking about it. I'm curious your thoughts. I've thought about streaming on YouTube. I've thought about streaming on Kick. If you remember a couple of years ago, I worked on that goofball World of Warships thing, ClickSport, with the kind of the sci-fi presentation that we did, which was a ton of fun, by the way. They were great guys to work with, great actors, really, really fun guys that helped put that presentation on. One of them now works for Kick. He reached out to me a few months ago and was like, hey, have you considered streaming over here? Very few people stream Warships. And I thought, I don't know. I never really thought about it. And so I went and made an account, and I've talked to him a couple more times, and I may end up trying it over there, especially in the last few weeks now that Twitch has basically sent a whole bunch of people over there. Kick is something that I'm not sold on yet. Some of the other streamers that I trust and converse with regularly, we're all looking at each other going, this feels super sketchy. And it does. It 100% does. But if the pay is more equitable for the same service, wouldn't I be kind of foolish to not at least try it, or at least look at it, or at least consider it? That's kind of where I'm at. YouTube, of course, you guys are here on YouTube. I at least streaming to YouTube, I at least have an established base of folks who are subscribed to the channel and would probably see it. I could be found over here. And I'll probably try streaming to YouTube at some point, just because I'm genuinely curious what kind of viewership numbers I would get. I have no idea, and I'm curious. So we'll see. But anyway, guys, some business decisions to make on the back end of things. Most of that won't really impact you, but I just want you to know that that's going around in my head, because it's a big topic right now, and it's something that I've been chewing on for a while, and I haven't reached a decision yet. Real briefly at the very end of the video, if you're interested, personal life, job situation is settled out. The job that I went to late last summer is over. I was laid off in early May. I've gone back to my previous employer where things are much more stable and much more calm. And I think that's going to help my mental mindset and my ability to focus on this stuff a little more. There was so much chaos and uncertainty at that other job, even though the pay was a little higher. It really, I mean, if you notice, like last fall, this spring, over the winter, YouTube content, Twitch content was a lot of this, right? It's a big roller coaster, a lot of up and downs. I feel like I've been back about 3 weeks now. That's starting to settle. And I think things are going to get into a much more regular rhythm the way they did the preceding, 5 years when I was doing this sort of thing before I went over there. And I'm just hoping that works out. So anyway, guys, I said it last video. I'll say it again. Thanks for sticking with me, right? Especially if you've gotten to this part of the video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for caring. Thanks for subscribing and tuning in and your comments, positive and negative, right? We all need constructive criticism from time to time, or we're not going to improve at whatever it is we're attempting. I'm not immune. I'm not the best streamer or the best content creator on the planet. I do what I can. I try to do my best with what I have, but I've always got something to learn. So if you guys have got comments, suggestions, improvements, even if it's just the odd word of encouragement, it's very welcome and very appreciated. Believe me, guys. If you come in here and tell me that I'm crap and you hate everything I do, well, I'll just ignore you. I really don't care what you think. If you're going to tell me that. But if you come in with something, genuinely from the heart, like, hey, I care. I want you to improve. Here's an idea. Try this. Look at that. Then yeah, that's something I'll definitely check out, and I very much appreciate it. So yeah, I'm still kind of humbled by the fact that anybody shows up at all. And it's still a weird feeling that I'm adjusting to. So anyways, listen, guys, appreciate you. Y'all take care. Be safe. I'm out this week on most of vacation, so you probably won't see me on Twitch back until after the 4th of July holiday, or right on the 4th of July holiday here in the States. But I should have some stuff lined up for YouTube this week, okay? So y'all enjoy. Take care, and I'll see you later.